It is Friday night and I am dropping in here. It is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler. And I just came out here to the work building to jump on here with you guys. And I forgot that I actually had cut these hellebores today. We did them for the show. I was showing Stage to Harvest. And I kind of just came out here in the dark and turned on the light. And here they were. You know, the great surprises of flowers, even to flower farmers, right? I mean, how gorgeous is that? That's a perfect stage too, by the way. Y'all see the seeds are developing. So folks, I am dropping in here because, you know, I've been doing these master classes, which last night was the last one, and telling people about this special thing that I have created for folks that are enrolling in flower farming school. It's called the Flower Farmer Fast Track. Think of it as the Quick Start series to go along with flower farming school. But, you know, last night we had so many people on the class, and there were so many people commenting during the master class that the comments were flying by, and there were questions that we just never got to. And, you know, I sat down and looked at the questions, and I just realized that I am so bad, y'all, about I just assume people know what I'm talking about because I talk about it all the time, but they don't. And so this is, I'm going to just take a minute and I want to talk about some of the things that people asked about last night. And it's really about what's holding them back from starting their flower farm. If you're dreaming of starting a flower farm, or you have started a flower farm, or you're flower farming and perhaps it's just not jiggying out like you imagined that it would, which is how it goes for most of us. That's just the way business is. I encourage you to hang out with me for a few minutes here. I've made myself some notes here. So first I want to tell you that Flower Farming School Online is my online course about how to start a flower farm business. And it really takes you through all of the steps. And I just want to tell you very, very briefly how our online courses work. First off, when you buy an online course from us, you have lifetime unlimited access to it. That means you have it forever. My school also comes with a private community where you have lifetime access to me. That's where you can ask me questions when we're out, you know, a year or 2 years from when you actually took the class. So what I have done after really studying this last 6 months with people struggling to get their businesses started, I created what is called the Flower Farmer Fast Track series. And that is my gift to people that are enrolling in flower farming school by tonight at midnight. That's why I'm here now, y'all. This expires tonight. It's been going on for a week, right? So this Flower Farmer Fast Track, if you want to think of it like this, you know when you buy a new piece of a TV or, you know, not a VCR, boy, I am old, aren't I? Or something like that, a new piece of equipment, you get an owner's manual, but then they always give you that little brochure that says the quick guide. Well, that's what I've created for Flower Farming School. I've created this fast track, 7 weeks of coaching where we are going to meet up once a week. And I'm going to do a training, which is this fast tracking. I am going to basically lead you through flower farming school as if I was starting my business today. I'm going to tell you what are the 1, 2, 3, 5, or 7 things that you should do in this session or this class to get your business started now. You don't have to weed through the entire class and try to figure things out. And because I'm going to tell you one thing I've learned about being in business for 28 years now. The faster you get moving and get momentum, the higher rate your success is. This getting stuck in the planning and wondering, and because you don't know, right? You literally don't know. So that's what the Fast Track series is. It's my gift to anybody that enrolls in Flower Farming School, everybody that enrolled this past week, and all of my past students. Anyone that's enrolled in my course by midnight tonight gets invitation to the Fast Track. And the Fast Track I'm just going to tell you very briefly, and then I want to tell you a little bit more about school. The Fast Track is 7 live meetups. The first one happens next Thursday, March 13th. We meet and meet up on Zoom. It's recorded, so you have access to that forever as well. I do my mini training on this fast tracking, what you need to do, because there's one fast track session for each class that's in the course. And friends, I am just so super stoked about this, and I'll tell you more about it. But and I've moved the order that we're going to go through, because I'm putting the first class first. That is the most important, and that is like, what are you going to grow? And I'm going to give you the list of the plants that I would be planting for my first warm season succession. I'm trying to take all the guesswork out of this. For those people, if this is you, if you really want to become a flower farmer and you want to have somebody walk along beside you, you've come to the right place, because that's exactly what I'm going to do with the Fast Track. So before I tell you more about the Fast Track, what I'm realizing is what people just really are struggling with. And so I want to hit some of these things that people shared with us last night. Some people said they're just flat out scared of starting a business. And this is why I have so much empathy for people doing this. I have been there. I still get scared on days. I mean, every new step is that way, right? So what I want to say is perhaps one of the not written anywhere in the details is the sense of confidence that you will gain knowing that you're coming into the footsteps of thousands of people that have done this before you and done it successfully. It works. You just have to keep after it over and over. And to have that confidence to know that you have trusted resources. And even more important, it's almost like I want to say the community is almost as important as anything you could actually learn in the course, the steps. So the sense of confidence that you gain changes your journey 100%. So these are some of the things that people said last night. Several people, because last night on the masterclass that I did, and there are no more masterclasses being offered, I was talking about different ways to sell flowers, which of course we talk about that in the course also. And I shared that 2 of the ways that I think are so universal for people to sell flowers is through subscriptions and my members only market model. And the question was, oh my gosh, what if I sell subscriptions and I don't have enough flowers? First off, a subscription, in case you don't know, is where you sell, people buy 5, 10, 15, 20 weeks of flowers and pay for them. And then you fulfill that throughout the season. And I will tell you what I told them last night for the one person that I did get to see their question. First off, when you build and set up a cutting garden and grow the cut flower varieties that we recommend, and then you cut it like you're supposed to cut a cutting garden, you will absolutely not believe how many flowers a very small garden produces. And if you can go to Instagram, and I posted a reel this morning and you can see it. It's 6 of us sitting, a couple of us standing, I think, and a bunch of buckets of flowers. And I kind of tell the story about how I faced that throughout my entire career. I'm a believer that you should have more customers than you have flowers. And that is an awesome way to live, y'all. Reverse that. You have more flowers than you have customers. That is nauseating, right? But when you have more customers than you have flowers, which is the way I lived for 27 years, then your next issue is, am I going to have enough flowers? And I am here to tell you, you're going to have enough flowers. If you get customers and you do and apply what's in this course, you're going to have enough flowers. And you just have to, I'm going to keep saying this, you have to trust the process. You have to trust the process. And it's okay if you don't. We'll get through that too. And then we had a lot of people talking about, especially, I'm 63, I'm getting ready to turn 64, y'all. And if it wasn't for business and young people. I would know nothing about social media or marketing, all of that stuff. Lots of fear in worrying about how they're going to market their flowers. And I understand that too. Here I post on social media. Here I am live on social media, y'all. And you know why I can do this? Because I've done it thousands of times. You have to get practice, and we give you the guide rails to actually be able to do it for marketing, and that's how you're going to sell your flowers. Social media is free advertising, especially in the beginning when you have no budget. It takes your time and learning what it is you need to do. And we help you. We help you in such a way that actually in Flower Farming School, y'all aren't going to believe this, we actually give you a gallery of our photos that you have full permission to use until you get your own photos, like to show that you grow in sunflowers and zinnias and mixed bouquets, that kind of stuff. So we give you images to actually do it and to help you with social. So I just want to say, if that is what your hard spot is, friends, we're going to help you through that. And I'll tell you another thing, that if you are kind of fearful in that marketing, posting on social, there is no better place to practice social posting than in the private student Facebook group, right? You can post and practice, and people will give you honest, supportive, constructive criticism and attaboys. What better way to do it and to learn and to practice and to see how it works? So marketing was a really big fear they faced last night. And then, selling the flowers, perhaps, for me personally, was like the dragon that almost took me down. I told the story in the master classes that literally Steve Ziegler, my husband, had to almost stuff me in the car with the flowers and drive me to the first florist. I was so afraid, y'all. You know what I was afraid of? I was afraid that I was going to walk in there with my flowers. By the way, they were hydrangeas and sweet peas, and they were gorgeous. I was so afraid I was going to walk in there to take them samples. We go through this in Flower Farming School of how you approach a florist, especially the first time as a pro, to set the stage. Anyway, I did that. I was so sure that I was going to walk in there and they were going to take one look at my flowers and say, why would you think that we would want to buy your old garden flowers? That's literally what I was thinking, y'all. And let me tell you, 180 degrees other opposite direction is what happened. They fell in love. They bought every flower I grew that year. Everybody they turned me on to wanted to. I am here to tell you that with us having our hand on your back and guiding you, it helps you to get over. You're still going to be afraid, but you're going to have the confidence to push through it, just like I do. You just have to get up and do it. And let me tell you something that occurs once you push through these things that you're afraid of. You get a little taller, y'all. You stand a little taller. Why do you think pianists practice the piano all day when they're concert pianists? Or football players practice. People practice everything. And that's what we have to do. And it is so terrifying. But I'm telling you, it really, the confidence you gain in having trusted resources and then having a community to either lament with or to commiserate with or to share your wins with, there's nothing else like it. All right, so this is a really frequent flyer question is, will your course work in my zone, meaning where they live? I don't teach you planting times. I teach you how to figure out your planting time for where you are, because it's different for everybody, y'all. So yes, it'll work. We have students all over the world, Europe, Africa, South America, Canada, of course, all over. So that is not really an issue. And this is a question that we are really getting now. What is the difference between your flower farming school and your private membership club? So for anybody that doesn't know it, I have a club called the Flower Farmer Club, and it is awesome, y'all. So let me tell you what the difference is between Flower Farming School and the Flower Farmer Club. Okay, everybody ears up. The Flower Farmer School is the how-to tactical steps to start and run and grow a flower farming business. I mean, it teaches you how, the first class, let's just talk about that. The first class is getting legal. It's about all of that stuff. Money matters, getting set up. Do you need license? How do you make time to actually do business? Class 1 is all the business mess, right? All the steps that you have to take. Class 2 is building the garden. Whether I do it with a wheelbarrow and a shovel, I do it with a walk-behind tiller, and I do it with a tractor and an implement. All levels. Teach you how to build soil, how to prevent weeds, right? Class 3 is where you're going to sell this stuff. We go through all the different types of customers, the pros and the cons, and what you need to do and what you might be up against. The 4th class is what are you going to grow? And it's warm season and cool season annuals, right? And we talk about why it is so essential for beginners to really hone in on annuals, because you get bigger bang for your buck, low investment, high return while you're learning, right? And then in class 5 is commercial seed starting. Then in class 6 is harvesting and conditioning. And it's all the steps. It's just packed full of information, y'all. That's school. The Flower Farmer Club does not have any of that. The Flower Farmer Club is, the way I look at it, is continuing education. It's for like lifelong learners. It is, I do a master class each month. I do a private podcast. I do a live Q&A once a month. But they don't have these tactical how-to steps. Many of my students are in the club. But what I'm saying, that's the big difference. So school is the actual steps to start and build your business, grow flowers, get customers, know how to sell them, and most importantly, how to know about harvesting and conditioning. And then there are over 2,000 frequently asked questions in there on video. All keywords searchable, y'all. So that is Flower Farming School, and that's how it's different than my club. And then we also get asked, like, what about our books? You know, is it the same stuff in the books? My books don't talk to you about starting and running a flower farming business. Flower Farming School, that's what it's all about. Growing flowers is one piece in there, but it's not the deep dive. It can't be. You know, I'll tell you, the greatest explanation I ever got, I don't know if y'all knew this, but I worked at a veterinary hospital for like 15 or 18 years before I was a flower farmer. I was worked my way up to the business manager. And I was a dog fancier, you know, I'm in golden retrievers. I used to do the sport of dogs, hunting tests, obedience trials, all that mess, right? And back then, we didn't have all these veterinarian specialists like we have today. You know, there's veterinary cardiologists, ophthalmologists, all of them, right? Back then, you didn't have them. And I look at flower farmers like I would look at a veterinarian back then. Back then, in those days, veterinarians had to know a little bit about a lot of different stuff because they had to know about the whole dog or the whole cat, right? And then when they hit a problem, they would go deep. And that's exactly what flower farmers do. And that's how Flower Farming School is. It is like your umbrella that has all this information. And I'm telling you, I could do a 4-hour course on just about every topic that's in Flower Farming School, and there are hundreds of topics in there. So Flower Farming School is really about the business of it, and in there it talks about growing, but it doesn't go into the detail of growing like, for instance, the Cut Flower Handbook does, because that book is all about growing flowers, nothing else, right? So you can see what I'm saying? So that's the difference between Flower Farming School and my Flower Farmer Club membership, which is private, and my books. So that was a question we got last night. And so here's something else I wanted to tell you. Somebody asked that has never taken an online course, and I get this because, you know, the first course I ever took was a course on how to build online courses. It was in 2017, and I was terrified. I mean, y'all, I'm really a big chicken. And I can remember I just didn't know what to expect or how it was going to work or if I had to be super tech savvy. And I'm here to tell you, you don't. I did it, right? But I want to say you can comment here, fast track, and that'll DM you the link directly to my sales page on the course. And at the very bottom of that page, you can actually request to get one of the sessions. It's a session on irrigation to kind of see what that's like. But I want to circle back and remind everybody that the Flower Farmer Fast Track series, which is my gift to people that enrolled in Flower Farming School this week and up until midnight tonight, get these 7 live coaching sessions with this quick start training in each one on one of the classes in Flower Farming School. And you have to enroll by tonight, y'all. And so at the bottom, so you can comment Fast Track, at the bottom of that page is where you can request to get that free session. But I really encourage you, if you're not familiar with with my school, to go over to that page and read the student testimonials, look at the syllabus, which is the outline. It's like the table of contents. It's in there. It is all there. And so, I want to tell you, for people that are discouraged, perhaps, because we have a lot of people that come into Flower Farming School that have perhaps been selling for 2 or 3 years, and they're just barely treading water because they're missing some pieces, right? And I just want to say that as a person that's been in business for so long, and I have made every screw up, every wrong turn, and then a lot of right turns also, that in business, it always takes longer than you think, and it always costs more. Always, right? I just want to say that if you really want to have a flower farming business, we'll walk with you to help you push through. Because let me tell you something, when you turn 90 one day and you look back and say, you know what, I always had a dream of being this flower farmer, but I just never did it. Don't be that person. You don't have to be that person if you don't want to. Y'all, I'm just looking at my notes here. I am... The bad news is that we always get reached out to over the next week of people that are going to come up and say, I just didn't know about it. I missed it. And so that's why I'm just out here once again throwing up a flare that the Fast Track series, which I have created, and it's my gift for anyone that enrolls in Flower Farming School this week, expires tonight at midnight. You can comment Fast Track here, and I'll DM you the link to get to the sales page, or you can just head straight over to the gardenersworkshop.com, and it's at the top of every single page. And, I just want to say that if you really want to be in business, I recommend you take the course. It takes the guesswork out. You will save so much money in mistakes and going down the wrong roads. And then if you really want to move quick, put your blinders on and don't be the owl. You have to take your gardener glasses off, put your farmer glasses on, and that means that you're going to control your spending. The number one thing that in my experience takes flower farmers out is they spend so much dadgum money that is not necessarily needed. They're buying stuff before they even know what they need. They are purchasing high-risk crops, and I only call them high risk because they're high investment. You got to know what you're doing, and you need to have customers waiting to buy them. People jump ahead to those types of crops, then they fail, either in growing them or they don't sell them, and then they're the ones that are belly aching that there's no money to be made in flower farming. Well, there's not. When you behave like a graduate student when you're still kind of in elementary school. I hate to put it that bluntly, but it's a fact. We talk to those people every day. Growing low and slow, right? And building your business. And when I say organically, I don't mean like growing organically like in chemicals. I'm talking about learning and growing and learning and growing. And that's one of the hidden really great benefits of online courses. I was thinking about this. I went and spoke at the ASCFG conference this past fall. I hadn't gone out on the road speaking in several years. I used to do 80 to 100 talks a year all over the country. Big change for me. I started staying home. And anyway, I went and talked I even forget where I was. I think it was Raleigh or Durham or something. Anyway, one of the big difference between online courses and not doing online courses and only doing conferences, because I recommend conferences, hands down. That's a great networking place. When you go to a conference and hear somebody talk, you really don't get to connect with them beyond that conference. People can't converse with 300 people, answering questions and that kind of stuff after the fact. That's what drove me to build online courses, because that's what would happen is I would go and speak and we would get hundreds of emails of people following up, wanting clarification, those types of things. And that's what led me to be one of the leaders in the online course industry. I didn't know what I was doing, but I dove in because I could see the real benefit of the lifelong membership in our private Facebook groups for my students. It isn't just for 6 weeks after the class. You're in that forever. And you're in there with thousands of other students that are helping and supporting. You can tag me in there for questions. And it's just really pretty phenomenal. And that's why we built it that way. Because when you ask me a question in the Facebook group, everybody gets to see the answers, right? It's not me privately conversing with one person. And that's why I love that online courses have become a part of the mainstream. But going to conferences and networking, I learned some of the best notes I ever took were on cocktail napkins, right? Talking to other growers is really pretty phenomenal. And we've tried to create that in our Facebook private group for the club, the school. So if you've been looking for a place to get reliable, trusted information and you want to start flower farming, this is your call. And so when you enroll in Flower Farming School, you can comment Fast Track here, and that will DM you the link to the sales page. And I encourage you to go over there and check it out, y'all. Read it. Read the student reviews. And I just want to say that here's the other thing. If you buy it, and within 7 days, you're like, this is not at all what I thought, and I really don't want it, you can reach out to us via email within 7 days of purchase and get 100% of your money back, no questions asked. You just say, this isn't for me. I want my money back, and we'll do it within 7 days of your purchase. And so why do we do that? Because we know you're going to love it. There is a lot of information in there, y'all. If you go over to the sales page, there's like 54 sessions of training. There's 34, I'm doing this from memory, y'all, 34 bonus videos. There's PDF downloads. There's over 2,000 frequently asked questions, of which all are keyword searchable, which means the course is not just a school for you to sit down and go through. It's a tool that you can look stuff up in, right? And, I'm just reading my notes. And, I also want to say, because I know that it helps me, I'm going to a big business workshop later this month. A lot of money, a lot of commitment. But friends, I just can't even tell you how it changes the way I look at everything when I see the people that I consider my mentors, the people that are ahead of me, the people that are doing what I want to do. To hear them say, I'm still scared every day, because you're doing new stuff all the time. You're doing stuff you have no idea what to do. And that's the way it's supposed to feel. And that's what I want people to know. I want you to know, I felt like the first 10 years of flower farming, we didn't hardly have the internet back then. There was not any of this networking business hardly going on. I thought that I was doing something so wrong because I couldn't get it all done. I was struggling all the time. And then I finally learned that's the way it is to be in business. You can never get it all done, but you learn to live with that and to triage. And that's in class 1, y'all. That's part of the business thing with me. It's like you have to be brutal with your time, brutal with your calendar, with your work time. What the heck are you doing during your working hours? Because I'm telling you, most people are wasting 75% of their time doing stuff that doesn't need to be done. It doesn't matter. That's the kind of stuff that's going to revolutionize your life. I think of different people that have taken the class that have shared feedback Daniel Shavy of Pedal Pickers was one of my first students. Nicole Pitt, and there's just so many people that just got in and learned the foundation. And then, friends, you can piggyback. Look what they're doing today. It's amazing. So, friends, I just wanted to come on here and say the deadline is tonight at midnight. If you join Flower Farming School by midnight, you get my gift of the Flower Farmer Fast Track and series. And that is 7 live coaching sessions where I am going to pull out for each class. There's 6 classes in Flower Farming School. I am pulling out the go-to things that you need to do to get in and get started on your business. I'm really kind of like giving you that quick guide, right? The quick start, the cliff notes. And I just want you to know it's available, and it's available till midnight. Comment Fast Track here, and that'll DM you the link, or you can just head to thegardenersworkshop.com. It's at the top of every page. The course, by the way, I haven't said, is $695, and that is a BB in the Astrodome to the money it's going to save you in avoiding mistakes. And if you apply 10% of what's in there, you'll make that back in a heartbeat. I tell you that totally candidly. So friends, I hope that I'll see you inside Flower Farming School, and our first live coaching session is a week from last night. So got to get in there, and you'll get all the information once you're a student. So friends, comment Fast Track to get the link, or you can just head to thegardenersworkshop.com. And I just want you to get that gift of the Fast Track. You got to get in so that we can start next week, right? So it expires at midnight tonight. You can comment Fast Track, and that'll just DM you the link to go look and see what it's all about and what you're getting. And I will tell you, when I started, I was talking earlier about how we started building online courses, that we were, early into this opportunity in 2017. And, something else that was a real driver for me, I wanted my teachings to be available to as many people as possible. And we tried to make it so affordable so that people could actually, the beginners could get in and do it. And we do offer a 1-pay and a 2-pay option. And you get the bonus of the Fast Track with either one. But if you comment Fast Track and go to the sales page and just take 10 minutes to scroll and do a little bit of reading, I think you'll see that it is a value, that is a trusted resource that will help you build your business. And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to get off here. That what you're going to find when you're, what I was going to say earlier, how I took a course on building online courses. That was what I did that in 2016, I think. I still, to this day, go back and rewatch parts of that course, because what you find, friends, if you're beginning and you buy Flower Farming School, you're going to go in there and you're only looking for the stuff that's affecting you right now. 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, you're going to be facing different challenges. You're going to be in a different place. And guess what? You go back into Flower Farming School and it's there. You just didn't notice it the first time you were in there. And that's the joy of Flower Farming School online courses. It's pretty dadgum amazing. So friends, I'm off here. I'm going to go fix some supper. It's all ready. I just have to pop it in the oven. I hope to see you in school. We need more professional flower farmers, friends, contrary to what people think. But that's for another day and another conversation. All right, friends, till we meet again, comment Fast Track, and hope to see you inside Flower Farming School. Ciao.